Good afternoon on this Saturday evening. It's 26th of February 2022 and it's 2021. A lot has happened this last week. When I packed up the game last Saturday, the world was in a different place than what it is now. Hello Alex, you alright? And on Wednesday, or was it Thursday? I think it was Wednesday. Actually, no, it was Thursday. Hello, cats. The news on BBC TV, BBC News, was very dark. And right now, as I sit waiting to load up this game, we sit in very dark, very uncertain times. As an iron curtain is descending across Europe. How long will this last? We don't know. Will it escalate? Possibly. Or will it fizzle out? Maybe. Maybe it will. Maybe it won't. However, we are here today to hopefully just kind of put that to one side. So hopefully we'll be driving across Finland. I think I'm gonna go to Finland, do some ACT work in my DAF. Mind, I don't think he's gonna turn on the likes of Romania or Poland or the Baltics. You know exactly where this is probably going. Situation. Because you've got two areas of... what do I think it'll escalate to? Civil war. Full on, full blown. But I don't think it'll go nuclear. It's too much to lose. Remember, Vladimir Putin, he's getting on. He's in his 70s. Yeah, so he's not a young politician by any standards, but he's an old KGB man. When he was around, Russia was in its prime. Russia was very proud back then. And Russia had respect. Now, don't think it'll go World War III. Certainly not in a nuclear sense. If it goes nuclear, which I highly doubt, exchange between America and Russia, well, NATO and Russia. I'm to hand over a proud and successful Russia to his successor. Well, that's no good if Russia is glowing in the dark. You have to weigh that up in a context. What am I? That's why I'm in the wrong one. There we go. Because that was constantly refreshing itself, and but what is gonna happen is that innocent people on both sides, people in Russia, they've had a taste of. So he's trying to rule his people under an iron fist. And they're not going to stand for that. So he's failed to misread the mood of his people. And the way that he's dealt with these anti-war protests in Ukraine are typical strong-arm tactics. And the only trouble is, with all these is in a circle, he will not stand for it. Because when they've got no access to trade money, because as the head of Gazprom's in, Vladimir's in a circle, and as energy, so they won't be very happy. You're in Vladimir's in a circle if you're in politics. I need to restart my laptop. My YouTube keeps buffering. Although it might be because Pro Mods is trying to load. And if they aren't able to trade, they're going to blame Vladimir. Because he's the one who started all this crap. Plus the fact, Vladimir is probably doing this because, say, he wants a legacy to hand over. Probably wants to hand it over to Sergei Lavrov at the next election when he eventually has to stand down. Because he's not very delusional. This entire situation right now that we have over in the Kremlin's doing, it's Vladimir's little crusade. So what is likely to happen? Probably in about 12 to 14 days. I might be wrong. Now, I don't know if I want to be right or want to be wrong over this. Is that Ukraine will probably have to cede Luhansk and Donetsk and the relative territories to Russia. That will then satisfy Vladimir. He might then pull out. Where will he look to next? Will he look to try and push more towards Georgia to make sure that Abkhazia and what's the other one? South Ossetia are totally independent? Because claim on South Ossetia and Abkhazia. And they lost big time over that little war a few years ago. It's been going on now for about 8 years. And I think he wants an end to it. So, opinion ratings back home. He's in a weakened position. And if you've ever read The Art of War by Sun Tzu, there's particular quotes in that One of which is, when you are strong, appear weak. When you are weak, try to appear strong. And this is exactly what he's doing. He's trying to appear strong by invading. America is playing it very, very carefully, because they don't want to put NATO boots on the ground in Ukraine, because that could so easily cause a miscalculation and then all hell breaks loose. To the point is that we get an escalation which cannot be stopped. And it'll go up like Chernobyl. America doesn't want that. Russia doesn't want that. Europe definitely does not want that. So they need to appear weak. When you're strong, appear weak. That's the other side of the coin. Right. Now my DAF is loaded up. Have I actually got a HCT? Have I actually got a HCT? No, I have not. Customize configuration. However, I can certainly make it into a HCT. Bump. Right. Let's go to here. Let's go to gloss. Yeah, gloss. And there's a lot of people also as well not wanting to buy Heart of Russia DLC. Now, I can't imagine SCS Software completely abandoning the DLC. Not when they put a significant amount of time into creating that DLC. So what they might do is knock it out as possibly a free DLC. That's what I'd do. Just give it away. So you're not going to make any money out of the Russian conflict. Because at the end of the day, this is a computer game, and politics, geopolitics in the real world do not belong in a computer game. That's why they haven't done all the Brexit updates. Why should they? Yeah. But at the end of the day, there's no reason for us to worry about the situation with regards to Russia, because there's nothing we can do about it. By the way, is the audio okay? Right, now that we are in quick travel to Helsinki, and yeah, we've established connection to the server. Lovely. One of the also as well. One of the other key powers involved in this entire situation is not who you expect it to be, but it's Turkey. And if they can negotiate a ceasefire, good luck to them. Turkey has quite a bit of influence with Vladimir Putin, who through these last couple of years, if you read the BBC, and not just the BBC, but other sources as well, he's been isolating himself because of COVID. You know, he's gone slightly mad, I would say. So we'll know what's going to happen, I reckon. Probably in about 10 days time. If this is going to fizzle out, because America's offered lethal hardware to Ukraine. So has Germany. But with Russia on the ground, begs the question, how the fuck are you going to get it to the Ukrainians for them to use? Because any transport plane flying into Ukrainian territory, the Russians are going to shoot down if it's American. Any ship that tries to bring in hardware to Ukraine, it's going to get stopped by the Russians. Yeah, still doing my class 2. I don't think I'm going to go class 1. Although it was probably the best move I ever made. Oh, bugger, no cargo here. I've got a HCT, how the fuck am I going to turn around? Can I actually get out of here without I mean, I'm driving a bloody 90-foot truck here. I don't think I can get round. Yeah, any ship that's going to try to bring in lethal weaponry, missile launchers, rocket launchers and the likes to the Ukrainians, I'm going to get stuck. I'm going to get stuck. Actually, no. Yes. Whoops. Yeah. So if the Russians have got control of the port, which they have, there's no way that any weaponry is going to be given to the Ukraine to there. because the Russians are going to impound it. The first thing that they're going to do is take that weaponry to Moscow, strip it down, to see exactly what kind of countermeasures that they can come up with. You know, against this stuff. So what next? Well, taking it in by land. Coming in through Poland or Hungary or the other land borders. Which is all well and good until they get across to the first Russian checkpoint. Then you're back to square one. All this weaponry that you tried to give to the Ukrainians, you've just lost. So the other way that you can do it is that you'll have to then allow the to take its course, and for Ukraine to, quote, lose the war. Because at the end of the day, Russia has got as many people it can call up for its military as Ukraine has got population. The numbers don't quite add up. So there's not really a lot that the Ukrainians can do. That's close, I'll take that. I'll come to Vasa, actually. Reno. So what happens then? You've got the Russians finally in control of Ukraine. Are they then pronounce it as the Ukraine? Because that's what it used to be on the Soviet days. Remember, Vladimir Putin's an old Soviet guy. He will refer to it as Ukraine. At that point, the America can then start the return, start basically an insurgency to drag the Russians down. Actually, yeah, that's a nice one. Oh, bollocks. Now, I remember doing something like this in ATS, which is an Eddie's store. It took me half an hour to... bollocks. It took me half an hour to get my trailers lined up. So what I need to do, I need to go that way, walk that round, no, actually F6, I'm going to quickly F6 this job, go into my settings and turn off right. So I've just lost that job. Never mind. I can always take it. It's exactly what I'm going to do. So of course the way to deal with this would be to have a quiet insurgency with the Ukrainians. Doing that will basically grind the Russians down. And that will eventually make it unwinnable for the Russians. Because right now they're in quite a decent position. Even with the hard fighting that the native Ukrainians are doing. Have a good convoy, guys. Best outcome that we can think of doing right now. Because it's a case of choosing which battles to take. Although right now Ukraine has got the unenviable task of fighting for his bloody life. If there are going to be any truck shows, possibly. Because right now with the oil price, price of diesel is shot up. I mean, the way things are going on, things may not play out how we expect them to play out. So we're living in interesting times, so right now nothing is guaranteed. Do stop for red lights in future, guys. I know you're running a convoy. Convoy at the park's on, yeah, I'll probably go convoy at the park. I might be going Peterborough. Might be. Might go Knutsford, because Knutsford's even the closer one. Whether SCS software are going to be at Peterborough this year, I don't know, but I very much doubt it. Probably happening right now in about still going on into certainly going on to next month. There will still be rumblings going on in the east. And if it gets really ugly, there may not be any truck shows at all. There may not. Yeah. It literally depends on what's happening. Hello, Kadir. How you doing? Oops. Whoops, sorry about that, guys. You've obviously appealed it. And I've explained the reason why. I could have banned myself, that wasn't a... Yeah, I've just crashed. Yes, I know I have. Because I went to go down that slide road and I hit the invisible barrier there. That's why I crashed. But I didn't crash into anybody else. Yeah, I play on the... Yeah, and I play on the American Truck Simulator. On the US server. Ping is no excuse for not looking in your mirrors. Ping is not excuse for not taking basic observation. Ping is no excuse for driving too close. Ping is ping. My take on Boris Johnson is totally the opposite. I know you have, Kadir. And I've explained why. No, I'm not. Otter, or Faith Otter. No, you can't say things like that. Looking at the chart is what causes crashes as well. I can see what you're doing, and I don't care if you're a Tory, I don't care if you're Labour, I don't care if you're a Liberal Democrat, I don't care who you are. You've appealed, I've explained, and dealing with your ban here is not the same place to do it. No. And if you carry on, you'll be banned from my YouTube channel. No. Because ping is not an excuse. When I'm on the US servers, I've got 150 ping. And I can see other players around me. So if you carry on, you guys, no, you're not driving with me. You're serving your ban. End of. That kind of ping, I think, is have a Now I'm pulling over here so you know what's about to come. Sorry, kid here. I'm afraid not. And no. Kicking up like that, and that's it, you'll be gone. And firstly, I'm not racist. Secondly, I'm not a Tory. As I was saying, before I was rudely interrupted by those three individuals who were complaining about being banned for a road traffic offence. The situation that we've got over in Ukraine right now, which is what got me started in the first place, it's a difficult one. I would like to know exactly how you're going to arm the resistance with Russia being the dominant power there. Mathematically, Ukraine can't win. They've got the resolve, but good luck to them. But mathematically, eventually they're going to get ground down. Wars of attrition if you do not win. But Russia will suffer badly. Will they gain the upper hand? Probably. It'll take them a long time to do it. Now, you've got the Dnieper River that runs right down through the middle of Kiev, right down to Odessa. And that could possibly become a political dividing line, dividing East Ukraine and West Ukraine. Yeah, there is. Disrespecting their hosts and moaning about their what's it. In fact, Alex, I'm going to give you a little bit of a favour here. type something up and see what you get. You know, and this entire situation that we've got will need to wait. America will need to wait for Russia to run its course. Now, hopefully, they just take Zelensky out of power. They don't kill him, because he is #1 target by the Russians. Now, if they take him out of power, he can then go into temporary exile in Europe or in the United States and conduct the guerrilla insurgents from there. So eventually, when things finally sort itself out, he can be rightfully returned back to power. Be a minister in exile. And if that is the case, that's probably the best case scenario that can happen. Because Russia says they want to denazify Ukraine, demilitarize and denazify Ukraine. How can Zelensky be a Nazi? He's Jewish. It just doesn't make sense. I think what they'll do is Russia will split Ukraine up. And it'll become like an East and West Germany. West Ukraine may retain some semblance of independence, but with a puppet president for Ukraine, for Russia's interest, installed by Russia. East Ukraine will probably be directly controlled by Russia, just like the bloody Crimea. Because Crimea is on the eastern side of the Dnieper River. And I think that's what Vladimir's aim is. Do I agree with it? Oh, hell no. You know, you should fuck off out of bloody Ukraine and have done. But as an old school Soviet, he won't. He has a hankering to return Russia back to its old days of the Soviet Union. He knows he can't touch Romania. He ain't got the strength. Because if he touches Romania, that brings Article 5 into play. And he's not got the strength to deal with all of NATO and its allies. Because NATO's allies are not just England, France, Germany, you know, the European Union, America and Canada. You've got Japan, that's an ally of America. So they're joining. They've already gone and placed sanctions. As far as I'm aware, I might be wrong, but I think they've also placed sanctions on Russia. Australia is an ally of ours because of the Commonwealth. New Zealand, they could get pushed around by quite a sizable military might, because Russia's military might isn't that great. So how would you know? The other option is, as well, if it does carry on, is that you put on not just swift embargoes, but full trade embargo against Russia. Russia cannot then sell any of its goods to the West. English, please tell her, thank you. Oh, it's going to be one of those nights, is it? And if Russia can't sell its goods to the West, by goods has got its oil reserves, its gas reserves through Nord Stream 1, Nord Stream 2, which has been cancelled indefinitely. They can't sell its vodka. Doesn't matter what my name is. If they can't get their stuff out, Russia will then be deprived of its hard currency. With the deprivation of hard currency coming in, they will then lose the ability to wage an aggressive war. It will. And that will then, hopefully, bring Vladimir to his senses. And this could then, hopefully, restabilize. The engine sound. How's that? Any better? Hello, rookie. I think what I'll do, I think I'll turn my game slides down in OBS. Let's let me pull off the road here. Okay, yeah, I'll turn my desktop audio down to about there. Is that any better? Thank you. Behind me, all good. On the downside of this though, knocking in all these, a full trade embargo with Russia, is that the people of Russia will suffer. Remember, this entire situation in Ukraine, the people against Russia, in Russia, the Russian people, they don't want this fight. You've seen probably on the news about the protests going off. Yeah. No to the war. Vladimir Putin right now has got a very low standing within his people. Which is why he's doing what he's doing. He wants to look strong, because Russians like a strong leader. But it's not working out right for him. He's very unpopular right now because of how he's treating his own people. He wants to have this, so when... what do I think about Turkey? I'll come to that. I will come to that. Because Turkey in this entire situation... Yeah, and they're going to get a lot of flack for this. Yeah, they're going to get a lot of flack for this. Yeah. Because at the end of the day, they see the person invading Ukraine. They see Russia as a people invading, Russians have invaded Ukraine. No. Vladimir has invaded Ukraine. Even the Kremlin don't like, aren't behind him on this. And right now, Erdogan could play a vital strategic part in this. He's already said he's going to try and negotiate a ceasefire. Good luck to him. I hope he bloody does. Because 200 Ukrainian civilians, and I don't know how many Russian conscripts have been killed in this idiocy. Because they didn't, they were told they're just going to go down for exercises. Next thing you know, they've been sent into Ukraine. On a war they did not want. A war that they did not desire. All because of one man's fanciful dream about returning Ukraine to back to Russia when it was granted independence in the first place by Mikhail Gorbachev. There's only one person, well maybe two, who are for this little situation. Vladimir Putin and his friend Sergei Lavrov. Well, there's a video that's been doing the rounds on the BBC, and it was broadcast initially on Russian state TV, and the BBC picked up on it. It was a security conference meeting within Russia, within the Duma, and he is demanding loyalty of his chiefs of staff, and some of them just didn't want to give it. So even the Russian council are not fully behind him on this, which means it could fail. And I hope his little escapade, I hope it does fail. Not just for the Ukrainians, but for the Russian people as well. He's not called Mad Vlad for nothing. When I was a kid, I was brought up for most of my life, most of my school days. I'm not getting angry. I'm just venting steam. Is Boris Johnson successful at Ukraine? Only time will tell. Because that's a difficult one to play. He's got the right people behind him. He's got the right mentality. His heart's in the right place. And he's certainly talking tough. Well, I'll tell you now, Margaret Thatcher wouldn't have stood by. She would have acted straight away. And the trouble is, we've let this go on. And we've done now too little. Potentially too little too late. Because right now, as the Russians sit there and they launch their weapons, they have a very bad track record when it comes to getting things on track. They've already hit a civilian apartment. And if you want to take a nation over and you want to win the hearts and minds, the last thing to do, the worst way to do it, is to start shooting the apartment blocks with civilians in. Because that's the first way. Like, you are going to turn the hearts and minds of the people you are trying to come against you. And that's what he's doing right now. He's turning the, he claims to be trying to help the Ukrainians, but he's turning the Ukrainian spirit against him. Don't get me wrong, the Americans have had their fair share as well of mistargeting weaponry. And weaponry does go astray. Intelligence isn't always the best. But the Americans got the intelligence bang on this. But nobody was listening. Everyone thought Vladimir was bluffing, but he wasn't. He was just biding his time. So we should have moved earlier to deal with this guy. Economic sanctions earlier. But the last thing we want to do is to put stuff in there that harms the Russian people. Rookie, should NATO assassinate Putin? I think somebody in his inner circle should take him out, because if a Western power does it, and it's found out to be a Western power, it could blow up in NATO's face. And then we're back to square one of a very lethal conflict. Potentially. Yeah. If anyone's going to deal with this guy, it'll have to be a Russian who deals with it. Because when he's in a circle, he's, Gazprom Energy. When Gazprom start to go under, because they're reliant on sales of gas and oil to the West, they're going to turn around at Putin and go, it's your fault, Tovarich, it's your fault. We can't sell oil and gas to the West because of you. They're going to turn on him. But right now, I don't think he will. I think Vladimir Putin, I think he's got health issues, which is why he's doing this. He's in a weak position. He's trying to make himself look strong. And the trouble is, he's an ex-KGB officer. So Turkey and China should get together on this. Xi Jinping, you know, he's in charge of one of the largest countries in the world. He has a lot of influence, a lot of soft power. And Recep Erdogan, he has a strategic influence, because the Bosphorus Straits, the access to the Black Sea, runs right through the middle of one of his cities. And he should have a damn good go at negotiating a ceasefire. There's a collision involved with the bloody lamppost. I didn't actually hit the lamppost, I actually hit the collision involved with that lamppost. You'll see. Trouble with Germany, they're in a very sticky situation. Because just after Fukushima, they shut down all of their nuclear plants. They are now reliant on Russian gas for their energy. But right now they're talking about taking Russia out of the SWIFT mechanism. I don't think anybody has been as strong as they should be. But what you got to remember is that Russia have got nuclear weapons. And not being a member of NATO as well, Ukraine isn't really covered by Article 5. In Article 5, basically it's a mutual defence pact where if you tread on a member nation, you're going to get all of NATO in return coming at you. And I think right now the Germans are playing it very, very carefully. Why are the Germans so afraid of Russia? One, they lose all their gas. Two, Russia's got nuclear weapons. And they don't want one landing on Berlin, because potentially if it escalates to the point where Russia steps into Berlin, it could descend into a nuclear exchange, and nobody wants that. I don't think it will. But there's always a risk there of a accidental escalation. But Russia depends heavily on Nord Stream 1 for its energy, because they've shut down all their nuclear power stations. So that's where they get most of their gas from, and most of it gets used for generating power. And that's the problem. No, I wouldn't, Rocky, no. We aren't quite so dependent on Russian gas as a lot of Europe is. Only about 3% of our energy comes from Russia. Whereas about 45 to 50% of Germany's gas supply comes from Russia, and I think they don't want to lose that, because if that happens, they lose a lot. Well, no, they're not freaks. And dealing with it, what you don't want to do, because if Vladimir Putin is possibly suffering delusions, oh yeah, they should build nuclear power stations. I'm all agree with that. We've shut half of ours down. Last month we shut another one down. Well into my 40s. That's all you need to know. Yeah. Faith, I think that's what Vladimir said I was trying to do. You know, nuclear weapons are a great deterrent, mutually assured destruction. You nuke me, I nuke you. Well, let's not use nukes. Because if you, for example, send a nuclear weapon over to Washington or Berlin, you're going to get one sent back at your capital city. Well, that's no good to you. Not that when you want to hand over a proud, successful Russia back to a successor, it's no good if it fucking glows in the dark. But yeah, we do need more nuclear power stations. So I don't think Vladimir is going to go down that route, but we don't want to test him. You know, if you back a threatened animal into a corner, it's gonna bite. No weapon has a bigger bite than a nuclear weapon. Japan found that out in 1945. Twice. And nuclear weapons have got a lot bigger since the ones they dropped on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. A lot bigger. They're also physically smaller as well. So it's not about simply being strong. It's knowing how to be strong. Knowing which battles you can physically win, which battles you physically can't, which battles you should take on, and which battles you should not take on. Like I say, I was born in 1976, so like I say, I'm getting on a bit. Well, don't call me bro, please. You know, when I was growing up at school, you know, it was the middle of the Cold War. There were Russian nuclear submarines parked off the... Seriously? I'm halfway through my 40s, dude. In fact, I'm over halfway through my 40s. 46. And I feel it too. Yeah. And the thing is, with the Cold War, it was the nuclear weapons that kept it cold. There's a hotline between Russia and America. And during the Cuban Missile Crisis, which is kind of the situation that we're going through right now. Oh, I've been nattering to you. I've run out of bloody fuel. Oh, shit. We're kicked from the server. Ah, dear. I will be back. Don't give me city away. Another VUM. Oops. Oh, shit, what am I doing? Oh, shit. Bloody run out of fuel. I'm not having a good day today. I'm definitely not having a good day. No, I don't actually give my city away. That's one thing I don't do. Try not to discuss exactly where I live. But yeah, we had the ever-threatened risk of a Russian nuclear attack from missile submarines. There's already one that's lying off the coast of Norway called the Konsomolets that caught fire and sunk. Now, I'm guessing. No, that's why. Yeah. Rubbing near me. That's probably why. Yeah, the walls stay cold. Because of all the nuclear subs. When the last thing we want is no. Yeah, a situation where we return to that. Right. Where is our diesel fuel? I was thinking not only you guys ranting on about this current situation, I completely forgot about fuel. Right. There is fuel. The nearest fuel is there. Hopefully it's 81 kilometers away. Hopefully I'll be able to get there on the fuel I've got. I've never been. Never been. It's certainly a popular destination for British tourists. And going back to one thing that was mentioned earlier on, I think Rocky mentioned it. The nuclear power situation. We used to have loads of nuclear power stations. In fact, so did Germany. You know, we had the Magnox stations. Right now, unlikely. I've not got a passport. So I can't visit anyway. I can't visit anyway, I ain't got a passport. I wouldn't mind going to Iceland. I can't. I've not got a passport. So I can't actually legally leave my country. Yeah, so that is a problem. Yeah, see, it's a vital document. A passport and a visa to leave the country and travel is kind of required. It's a bit difficult to travel without one. Right, let's see if I can fit in here. Let them be. Doesn't harm me, so what the hell? Let me get on with it. Yeah. It doesn't harm me. If it doesn't harm anybody else, so be it. You know, I won't knock anybody for their views, for their religion, or for which way they want to be. You know, as long as it doesn't harm anybody. You know, people have the right to live in this country have the right to live how they want to live. No, I'm not. I know people who are, but I'm not. I'm happily single. That's all I care about. I mean, some people might find that comment slightly insulting, but, you know. Well, that's another thing. Yeah, thank you, Rookie. Yeah, as long as, like I say, as long as people are happy and it's all consensual, that's all that matters. I mean, some might be religious and say it. What is my body count? 0. It's a big fat 0. It seems a bit of a strange question, that. I don't really know how to answer that, but my body count is 0. And it's going to stay 0 for a long time to come. Well, as for body counts, you have to feel for these people in Ukraine who are being sent down there, you know, on the war that they don't want. I mean, when the goings on, it's bad. You know, we've got the UK has got British citizens stuck over there. He went over there for, you know, for holidays because there was no threat of invasion officially, and now they're stuck. I bet Turkey as well has got people stuck over there. One reason why Recep Erdogan is probably trying to negotiate a ceasefire so we can get his citizens back out to safety. But that madman in Moscow needs to take a reality check. He really does. Well, I can't go. I can't go that way. Right now, Rookie, he's got influence. And if he can negotiate a ceasefire with Russia, you're going to need him in place, no matter how unpopular he is. If he can negotiate a ceasefire with Russia over this Ukraine, because he's got a lot of... Yeah, you might hate him. I mean, he's not my cup of tea as it stands, but right now he is your best chance of negotiating peace with Russia because of his close influence with Vladimir Putin. So you need him right now, whether you like him or not. Unfortunately, you've got him, so you'll have to take him out at the ballot box at the next election. Try to vote him out. But until then, you need somebody who can deal with the situation that you've got right now. I mean, I don't particularly like Boris Johnson, but right now he's our leader, whether we like him or not. But as a member of NATO, Turkey has got that situation where Vladimir probably won't push you about. Because if he pushes you about and steps foot on Turkish territory, Article 5 gets triggered. And then all hell breaks loose. But Erdogan, as a person, he is very close to Vladimir Putin. He could be the one right now who can end this madness. Because it is madness. I mean, didn't Erdogan manage to negotiate some kind of deal between Assad in Syria to try and calm that situation down? Because what is happening 1,000 miles away? Well, that's all it is. 3 hours on a plane to get to Kyiv. It ain't that far. You can drive from here, from the UK to Kyiv in a little over a day and a half. Well, yeah, that's probably right. Yeah, that's a good excuse to hate him. That is a... And to be honest, I think if I was Turkish and he was doing that, bothering... Yeah, I think I'd hate him too. Well, it's his policies that have probably upset the economy. But this idea, isn't he? I think he's also planning some kind of canal to run alongside the Bosphorus. Because you can't widen the Bosphorus. That canal, in some respects, that seems like, when I look back at it, because the Bosphorus is so narrow, there's risk of a bloody collision in there. So that canal does have its benefits. But right now, he needs to make Mad Vlad see the light. Because the way things are going on, it's gonna get... Yeah, it hasn't really started over there. Sure, it's ugly, but it's gonna get a lot more ugly if it carries on. And a lot more people, innocent people, Ukrainian civilians, Ukrainian military. No, unfortunately, I never went to university, so I ain't got a degree. Yeah. And the Russian soldiers who are in there as well. Because if they back out, if they go, no, we're not, they're going to get shot from behind. So they can only go forwards. Yeah. So they're damned if they do, damned if they don't. Because if you go forwards, you've got... I just follow the radio. It comes from listening to the radio quite a lot. And I do like... I do like history and stuff like that. Oh, thanks. Thank you. That was one of the reasons why this series is this is actually called Trucking to Our Time, because we are. There's a lot going on right now. A lot of ugly things happening in the world. We need to pull back from the brink. Because if we want to make it to the next century, we need to seriously pull back from the brink. Because we've got enough firepower to wipe out all life on this planet. Now that really is not a good thing to have. Oh, thanks. My streams aren't normally this depressed. My streams are normally quite... no, Saturdays only. Sorry about that, guys. I thought as much it might have been. One thing, I don't bite so much. We're living in interesting times right now. Very interesting times. Now, I don't know which side you think what you think of Donald Trump, but he quoted Vladimir Putin as a genius. You got no bloody chance. Okay, just don't do it again. And you have to admit, what he did, he totally deceived the West. Our intelligence said that he was going to do it. Our leaders didn't. They didn't believe the intelligence, but the American intelligence was bang on point. So in that respect, yeah, it was a work of pure genius. Because I didn't see it coming. I thought if he was going to do it, he would have done it by now. And, you know, would have done it the other side of Christmas, but no. No. Kept everybody guessing and bang, in he goes. And you've got to feel as well, you know, for everybody else who's caught up in there. Because there's not just Ukrainians stuck there. There's Brits, there's Japanese, there's Turks, there's Italians, there's Bulgarians. There's Russians who are stuck there because they can't get back. Innocent people. Some people only went there for like a week holiday or something like that. Well, they found that they're stuck. No. Saturdays is my stream time. I only stream on Saturdays. Usually for about a couple of hours. Bye-bye. Unfortunately, I'm not allowed to remove your ban, Ali. I'm sorry. But once it's been served, that's it. If I were to remove your ban, I'd get banned myself. I don't enjoy banning people. That's the strange thing about it. People think I do, being a GM on the game. I don't take pride in banning. I just wish people drove correctly. I mean, yeah, accidents are gonna happen, but you know, try to drive carefully. Yeah, well, hopefully, Ali, it'll be your last ban. I know I've got... pull me tab up. I've got a 47 ping on here. The Chinese play regular about 600. I've seen players driving around with pings of 700. How is this? They play fine. Okay, let's park her up. Yeah. Check your mirrors. Yeah. Before you're pulling out. Mirror, signal, maneuver. Set them up correctly. And don't try to drive to the fence. I knew this was going to be a bad idea doing HCT work. I forgive you as a person, but once I've set you down, that's it. I'm not allowed to deal with it outside. It all has to be done on the website. That's where the accountability is. Can't even do it in Discord. It's got to be on the website. And that, unfortunately, given the mood that the times that we're in, sadly, almost all things must come to an end. So it's time for me to say goodbye. Thanks for the conversation, guys. I know we got off to a rocky start at the start, but thanks for following. Thanks for subscribing. Normally my streams, my conversation, my talking points aren't quite so emotional right now. But I do fear for what's going to happen. I hope it fizzles out. I really do. But with what's been said, with what's going on, it's that guy's mind. I have no idea what's going to happen. So please, look after your family. Look after yourselves. Take care. Be safe. I know being banned from a computer game is nothing compared to what some people have got to put up with. Because there's people in this TMP community who are stuck over there. People who you might drive with on a regular basis. Because I have seen Ukrainian names and Ukrainian flags as I drive around the servers. And we've probably spoken to people from there, on the forums, on the Discords. So just think of them. Thanks. Bye-bye.